So what I was gonna go into is I realized I was also seeing a psychiatrist at that time who I changed to a different one halfway through because my first psychiatrist, the one that I first went to ever, got her own practice. So she was out of our network. And I changed to this new woman who was actually very sweet. You know, she was pretty doctorly, as in not very too talkative, but she was very sweet, genuinely cared. I felt about me, and I appreciated that she wasn't judgmental, and she was kind of more inquisitive. Like, I eventually got to the point where I told her that I had been able to kind of stop self-harming for a while, and she was so happy for me, and genuinely happy, and because she understood the weight of it in a way. And she kind of just turned her head and asked me, like, what did you feel from that? Like, and I kind of appreciated her asking me that because it wasn't in a judgmental tone. It was kind of like a help me understand kind of thing. And I don't know, I just admire that in a doctor, because most doctors think that they just know everything and they know why people do everything that they do, and they can just be really insensitive sometimes. So I appreciated that. She kept trying to convince me that I had ADHD though, and kept trying to give me like Adderall, which is surprising because normally it's, you know, the other way around. Like, I should have been trying to convince her that I had ADHD. So I didn't, though. I was an ethical person at the time. In college I probably would have taken it, but I didn't. So then, let's get to my, actually, before I get to my creepy experience, let me get to, like, my one other nice one, which is when I started going to, I had, like, 3 therapists in college, I think. First, I went to the counseling center. Hated that, because it was, like, all students, and they don't really know what they're doing yet. It was super awkward. I told her I had anxiety, and she told me that it was not even that big of a deal because I wasn't like physically sprinting out of my classes to like go have a panic attack, so it was probably fine. And I was like, sick, okay. Cool. Didn't know I was cured, thank you. So I hated that. Went to another one who I just didn't really click with her. We didn't really get anywhere. Last person she was this really, really, really nice lady. I really liked her. Eventually we just kind of started going in circles, which is why I left. I remember one thing that she said that stuck out to me it was when I was explaining, you know, the way my family deals with things, that we're not like a spill your guts, tell everything that's on your mind kind of family, and that we never would be. She kind of made this cute analogy that I still think of, and she was like, you can't expect your family to be like someone else's family. On Thanksgiving, she was Italian, and so she said, you know, at my Thanksgiving, we have like lasagna, we have like a cheese board or whatever, all this Italian food. And I went to my friend's Thanksgiving once, and I was so confused because I was like, where's the pasta? Where's the appetizer? She's like, I just didn't understand. And my friend didn't understand because they came from different traditions. Okay, it's kind of a cheesy analogy, whatever. I liked it. You grow up a certain way, and that's what you know, and anything else to you is strange, and it's hard for other people to understand. Why can't you just blink? Why can't you just do this? Why isn't it easy for you to do things the way I do them? And it's because you didn't grow up that way. It's so hard to unlearn. Like, it's not impossible, but it's just not the way you lived your life for a majority of your life. It feels foreign to you, the way other people do things. So I don't know, I just kind of like that analogy because I did always feel kind of like an outsider, again, with the drama. I just remember being young and thinking, I wish I could tell my parents when I'm sad. I wish I could experience, you know, stress without feeling like I'm a horrible person. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily like, it's not like my parents didn't love me or they didn't care about me or protect me, but it just, that's kind of was a manifestation of all the anxiety I had because of our family environment. And I remember just looking at people and being like, how do kids tell their parents when they feel sick without feeling guilty? How do they cry to their parents without feeling embarrassed? Like, I just did not get it. So that analogy really helped me. And now, to my grand finale. My last experience was with a psychiatrist. And this was, I think, my senior year of college. So this was last year. My insomnia was really bad, and my anxiety was really bad, and so I went because I was like, I need medication, because I'd been off it for a while. So I went to him, and he was very like classic, typical stick up his ass doctor, but I was like, you know what, whatever. I've had experience with a psychiatrist. I know the drill. I'm not expecting to have somebody like comfort all my feelings. I just need medication to get this stuff under control.
And it got weird.
First of all, he was obsessed with me wanting, like, he wanted me to be obsessed with my weight or my size or whatever. Like, he was obsessed with eating disorders. He really was. And like, almost was trying to convince me that I had one, where I did not bring up food at all. I did not bring up body image problems at all. That wasn't why I was there. I did not have those problems. So he kind of started saying, do you feel like you're too big? Do you think of yourself as like too fat? Like, I'm not saying you're like this. And he made this gesture, and he's like this. And first of all, like, what if I did have an eating disorder? What if someone there did have an eating disorder, and you're making gestures like this and like talking about this so bizarrely? He was just obsessed with that, and I kept saying, no, I'm good on that end of things. And I'm short. Like, I'm like barely 5'2", probably a little under 5'2". And he would say things like, do you feel helpless because you're small? Do you feel anxiety because of your size? And it was so weird. Like, I didn't even say anything about these things. He was just like pulling this out of thin air. It was so bizarre. I didn't even know how to respond to half those things. And then I would talk about, I kept asking me if I had a boyfriend. All the time he would talk to me about relationships and boyfriends. And I kept saying, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm like not ready to have a boyfriend. I've never had a boyfriend. And because he would ask me, it's like, oh, well, what about in middle school? You've never had one? It was so uncomfortable. I was like, no, I'm not ready. I have, weird problems about having a boyfriend. No, thank you. Not right now. I'm not here to talk about that regardless. He was like,
a lot of girls with your problems have had boyfriends.
what? Okay, well, I'm a girl with the problems that I have, and I don't have a boyfriend, so I don't understand this point. Like, it was so weird. And he weighed me every single time that I went. And I understand if a psychiatrist weighs you, like, sometimes they do that to get an accurate, understanding of what dosage to give you, but every time. And he was obsessed with my size and my weight and wanting me to be obsessed with those things, and it was so fucking weird, man. And I think I was seeing that other woman, the Italian Thanksgiving lady, and I told her about this, and she was like, you need to stop going. That is not okay. Because I was kind of skeptical too, and I hate that I feel this way, but I always have this problem of trusting myself, and I was like, I'm getting this really strange vibe, but maybe I'm just being too sensitive, and which I definitely wasn't. Like, that shit is weird. And I told her, and she was like, stop going. Like, right now, you stop going there. That does not sound okay. This sounds very unprofessional. Like, I'm kind of disturbed. And this therapist actually told me, she was like, we've actually had multiple women that we see go to this man, and they've had the same problems, and he's been very obsessed with their size and their weight, and this is like, she said, it's very concerning, and we actually have been wanting to report him for so long. So, like, do we have your permission to talk about what you just told me? And I was like, yes, like, fucking go storm into his office, rip him out of there. Like, he's making so much money off of being a fucking creep. So I don't know what happened to him, but hopefully they did get to report him, and because he was gross. So That's actually a good point for me to end this on. If you ever feel uncomfortable in a therapy environment, in like a psychiatrist's office, any kind of doctor, I don't care if they have like a PhD, if they're telling you that they talk this way to every patient, if you feel uncomfortable, just leave, just quit, stop seeing them. You know, your intuition is the most important thing, your gut feeling. So don't let anybody intimidate you, because I've let people do that to me before, and it's just, your gut is always correct. So don't let any doctor, any person of authority intimidate you into like thinking that your feelings are incorrect, because that's just not true. So yeah, kind of dark note to end that on, but it's not even noon yet. It feels later, but I'm going to go, sorry, there's some man driving by really slowly next to me. I'm gonna go walk around, go to the gym, and try not to have a nervous breakdown about the fact that I have to give my notice tomorrow. Okay, bye.